S.A.L.T. Productions Super Bowl analysis. Low tech, although I will try to hold this straight so it doesn't shake too much. But who am I picking to win Super Bowl 53, which is going to be played tomorrow? Super Bowl 53 between the New England Patriots and the Los Angeles Rams. Well, as you can see, I'm going to have it all laid out in front of you here so you could look at the bullets here. I would have picked the Rams. I did pick the Rams to win the Super Bowl before the season. High-powered offense, Sean McVay running a 30-point-a-game type offense. That young, innovative mind, he's the type of guy you want running your offense. But that's not why I would have picked them to win a Super Bowl. You know, defense wins championships. That is a different conversation for a different time. That they did add to the defense here. Under Wade Phillips, they added Talib, Sue, Peters. So they've strengthened the secondary, and they added that piece, Sue. When I saw that they added Sue, I got excited and said, now that they're double teaming Donald, Sue is going to have a monster year. Double-digit sacks. The Sue I knew with being only single team, impossible. This is going to be a defense, I wouldn't say as good as the Denver defense that won Super Bowl 50 under Wade Phillips, but a similar type style because they have the corners, which allows them to get even blitz at times, get the pass rush in there. It fits what Wade Phillips likes to do. New England last year, not a good defensive team. All I got to do is show you the Jacksonville championship game, and show you that it was the only thing that stopped Jacksonville from scoring more points was the fact that they stopped themselves by running the ball. I could demonstrate this, and I will make it. There will be a S.A.L.T. production on that of how Jacksonville ran the ball about 10 extra times in the second half than they should have. If we just kept throwing, New England was covering nobody in the secondary. And then in the Super Bowl, I knew that Philadelphia wasn't going to make that same mistake. They were going to be aggressive. They were, and Nick Foles was tearing them apart. No significant additions. What do you want to say? The McCourty twins now, they added a guy there. Okay, nice addition. I didn't see that it would be significant, and it wasn't significant for a good chunk of this year. The offense, of course, solid. Tom Brady. Some changes. They added a Sony Michel running back. But they lost Amendola. They lost Solder in the left tackle. Cooks. They lost Cooks and a wide receiver. I wouldn't exactly think it would be any better. But overall, if you take both offense and defense of the Pats, this was not one of the better teams over the last 15 years that the Pats had. So if you would have told me that they're playing on a neutral site, in a dome, before this year, I would have picked the Rams to win the Super Bowl over the Pats. If the Pats would even make the Super Bowl, I didn't think they would. But if you would pick the Pats to make the Super Bowl, I would say the Rams are going to win 38-20. But we go to sheet 2. Now for the actual what happened. Ram offense versus Pat defense. First of all, if Gurley is fully healthy. So it's a 30-point-a-game offense. Yeah, if Gurley is fully healthy. We don't know what's going on with Gurley. We do know that he's been sharing time with C.J. Anderson. I wouldn't exactly say the Patriots are scared of him. He's been okay as a fill-in. That's not the same player. But I also want to point out that the only reason they're a 30-point-a-game team is because, as I mentioned, the Sean McVay factor. Good talent combined with Sean McVay bringing them to a whole new level with his scheme and attack. But here he's going against Belichick. Who would you trust, McVay or Belichick? I'd say you want to call it they nullify each other, fine. I wouldn't give an advantage to McVay. If anything, I'd give an advantage to Belichick. So it's a scheme-type offense that's scoring 30 points a game. I wouldn't say they out-talent the Patriot defense. They have McVay scheming to get you 30 points a game. Otherwise, it's good talent. I'm not saying it's bad talent. There's good talent there. But it's Jared Goff. This is not Tom Brady over there. This is not even Drew Brees over there. This is Jared Goff, and they are great because of McVay. Good without him, great with McVay. And you're going against Michelle. And the Pat defense, oh my gosh, all of a sudden has been playing well. Inexplicably. Yeah, they gave up 31 second half points to KC. Realized that 7 of that was because after a turnover, the last 20, they only had a 20-yard drive. They were stopped twice in that second half. I do not agree with those that say that if New England, if KC would have won the coin toss, they would have easily gone down the field. They may have gone down the field and scored, but I would give them, but a less than 50% chance of scoring a touchdown. I would give them, they would have 50% chance or more of getting a field goal. Belichick's always good in the red zone. I didn't see where they were getting easy yardage. They were making some big plays. They missed. They dropped New England dropped an interception in the end zone. I don't know if people remember that. They there was a illegal pick play that got them a big 40-yard play there. They got within 30 seconds. They did come down with two plays to get the tying field goal case. I'm not saying the Pat defense played well. That is not my point. But don't. It wasn't like they played well overall in the playoffs against the Chargers and KC. That I would say. The Pat defense has been much better to me than they were last year. I don't know. It's not explicable to me. I don't have an explanation. Maybe someone can give me an explanation why all of a sudden the Pat defense is something that I think will hold the Rams to 20 to 27 points. That's if Gurley's healthy. That's if Gurley's healthy. It doesn't look like it. Most probably he's sharing time with C.J. Anderson. So let's get to let's just cover the other side. Pat offense versus Ram defense. How could they not get 30 plus points? How's that possible? You got the running game of the Pats. You got the passing game. And the Ram defense is average. Not a strong pass rush. Just Donald. Sue, a bust. Not a good secondary. Just Talib. Peters, a bust. Now, what I thought Sue was going to get the double-digit sacks, he's been slow and old. But what are you talking about? In the last few games in the playoffs, he's been great. No, he's been good. You noticed him, actually. Against Dallas, he made 3 plays. On the first play of the game, he actually ran from side to side, take down a runner. One play you wouldn't have even noticed, on a 4th and 1, he actually plugged it up so that two others could make the tackle. And he made 1 tackle for a loss. He didn't have any sacks in that game. Didn't get anywhere near Dak Prescott, but he at least was noticed. In the game against the Saints, he had a sack. I don't expect any sacks here against a New England good offensive line, a Brady who gets rid of the ball. In order to beat Brady, you got to get pressure up the middle. You have to have a pass rush and get him up the middle. They have Donald, but I'm sure that they will not allow Donald to beat him. They'll double and triple team him. They'll take their chances with Sue if they're smart, if they watch the film. Sue has been a bust. Sue is not going to get near Brady even if he's single teamed. He's been slow and old. Peters is known to get burnt, but he also makes solid plays. He's either he'll make great plays, he'll take chances, and therefore he'll get burned once in a while. This year he's just been burned most of the time. He has been a negative. Talib, good factor. I would think that Brady will stay away from Talib. And how are they going to cover this matchup here? How are they going to cover throwing to James White and running backs against the Ram? Everybody admits the Ram weakness is the linebackers. If you want to tell me they have a good defensive line because of Donald and they have Sue, Fowler, Brocker, okay, they got something there. But they got the linebackers where Littleton made the Pro Bowl. I don't even know who that is. He couldn't cover Kamara last week. I don't see how they're going to, on that specific matchup, how they're going to cover the little throws to the James White, which always works well for New England, certainly will work well tomorrow. When I say numbers throughout the year, again, the Rams have been giving up 30 points against good offenses throughout the year. They got better in the playoffs against a Dak Prescott Dallas team, and they were okay against the Saints. I think the Saints held themselves back a little bit too much by trying to run the ball. Now, I don't have a reason why. They will give the Rams credit. They stopped the Saints' run. But I think the Saints should have thrown the ball more in the first half. And certainly they were throwing a Kamara that was working. They started chipping him with Sue. Yeah, that they should have kept going to Kamara anyway. And I'm not looking at the Ram defense to hold anything. There is no way that the Pats. I'm more confident about this part than I am about this part with the 27 Rams getting only 27. If the Rams end up getting over 30 points, I would not be surprised. But here I'd be shocked if the Pats get anything less than 30 points. And finally, bring in the intangible. Oh, that's my hand. Bring in those intangibles. the Pats always have the intangibles. For 15 plus years, they were a dynasty of intangibles when they won Super Bowls 36, 38, and 39. They were throughout the years. They'll make the big play at the right time. You just expect New England to win and the other team to lose. They find ways to win. Here they got the experience factor. They got the we're still here factor. If you want to, again, it's a small factor. I'm not putting much into it, but it's definitely something pushing Brady, pushing these guys that even when we're old, we're still here. They want to show that they're still a team. That's still a championship caliber team. What's your final score? What's my final score? Let me get here. It is. Wait, low tech. Get that standing over there. Here it is. Pats 38, Rams 17. If I had to change that, I would go Pats a little less and the Rams a little bit more. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Pats end up in the 40s. But I mean, they're never blowout teams in the Super Bowls. They always play it close. This is the first time they're facing an average defense. Think about that. The only team you could call that was an average defense was Atlanta, and Atlanta, surprisingly, good job by them stopping them in the first half. But in the second half, the Pats got back up and ended up in the 30s. The Pats were in the 30s last year against a very good defense, the Eagles. Scored 28 in Super Bowl 49 against Seattle, which was a good defense. And I'm not going to go back to, and again, this was a totally different offense against the Giants. And the Giants had what could stop Brady. Pass rush up the middle. If tomorrow I'm wrong and Sue gets some pass rush up the middle and Donald gets pass rush up the middle, it could be a different one. I don't expect that at all. Therefore, expect why should the Pats get anything less than in the 30s? And the Rams have been, like I said, the Rams have been giving up in the 30s all year. The part that I would that's bold to me. I don't think that's the bold part, the 38. The bold part is the Rams only getting 17. That has a lot to do with Gurley being hurt, and that I think that Belichick. I attribute the Ram offense being superb because of McVay, and therefore, why would I think that he would out scheme Belichick? That I'll call a push. We'll call it even if you'd like, and then you have the talent. Not much more talent on the Ram offense than the New England defense. New England defense has been playing well. Intangible go Pats' way. How is this anything other than a blowout? 38-17 Pats. By the way, picks just means that what should happen. If tomorrow the Rams go out and win 38-20, I'll say I still had the right analysis. That's what should have happened. Based on everything I've said, unless you tell me differently, that's what should happen. Of course it could go out and the Rams could win 38-20. No, that's not an excuse if it ends up being. I'm not making an excuse if tomorrow I end up it being the opposite score and the Rams win 38-20. I'm telling you this is fine analysis even if the Rams end up winning the game.